You look in the mirror and you don't even recognize yourself anymore. You're constantly second guessing everything. You're walking on eggshells, trying not to upset anyone. You silence yourself to keep the peace. And deep down, you wonder if maybe it really is your fault, like they said. Whether it's a partner, a parent, a friend, or a boss, the relationship leaves you feeling drained, anxious, and disconnected from who you used to be. That's what abuse does. It chips away at your confidence and convinces you that you're the problem. But you're not. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to start rebuilding your confidence so that you can reconnect with your voice, your power, and the real you. I'm Jo Banks. I spent almost 20 years as a senior HR professional before setting up my coaching practice 16 years ago. Since then, I've worked with tens of thousands of people to help them have happier, healthier lives, and I'm sharing what I know. So let's dive straight in with what is a controlling relationship? It may seem like a silly question, but I think it's important to get back to basics here. A controlling, abusive relationship is one where a person repeatedly misuses power to control, manipulate, or harm another. Control isn't always physical. It can very often be emotional, verbal, psychological, or even financial. And it doesn't just happen behind closed doors in romantic settings. It can happen at work, within families, and in friendships. It can also happen in community settings too. Some common signs of abuse include constant criticism or undermining, gaslighting, making you question your reality. And I've got an entire video on gaslighting. The link will be below. Coercive control, controlling what you do, who you see, or how you live. Silent treatment, mood swings, or emotional withdrawal. Over monitoring your time, finances, appearance, or choices. Blame shifting and guilt tripping, isolating you from others, making you feel like you're too sensitive or always overreacting. And that's another form of gaslighting. In many cases, the abusive control is wrapped in love or loyalty, which makes it confusing to spot and even harder to walk away from. The confidence crash. People who've experienced toxic, abusive relationships often describe feeling like they've been hollowed out. They just don't trust themselves anymore. They question their worth. They shrink themselves to avoid upsetting others. You might recognize some of these signs: chronic self doubt, fear of making decisions in case you get it wrong again, over apologizing, over explaining, avoiding conflict at all costs, feeling like a shell of your former self. And here's what I want you to know: this did not happen because you're weak or because you're a bad person. It happened because you were repeatedly made to doubt yourself. Toxic abuse and control, especially coercive control and emotional manipulation, work by slowly wearing you down. It's not your fault, but you can take back your power. Incidentally, I've got 2 videos on coercive control. I'll leave the links below. 8 steps to regaining your sense of self. Step 1, name the experience. The first step in healing is recognizing what happened without minimizing it. You might not be ready to use the word abuse, and that's okay. You can call it what it is: mistreatment, manipulation, control, or even emotional harm. What matters is that you stop excusing behavior that hurt or is still hurting you. Instead, you might say to yourself, that relationship wasn't healthy. I was constantly made to feel small or unimportant. They controlled me, how I spoke, what I wore, what I thought. I wasn't allowed to be myself. I had to change who I am to be who they wanted me to be. I had to walk on eggshells, and that's not how healthy relationships work. If you're wondering whether your experience counts, it does. Emotional abuse, coercive control, and toxic behavior can be every bit as damaging as the more physical forms of harm. Sometimes I will hear people say, well, others have had it far worse than me, and people just don't recognize the damage and the trauma of emotional and psychological abuse. Whatever happened to you, and your experience is valid. Do not compare yourself to other people. You have every right to feel angry and upset at what happened to you. Naming what has happened or what is happening to you can help you see it for what it is. Unfortunately, gaslighting is a large part of any toxic abuse or any toxic relationship where the person twists things to make you believe that their mistreatment is normal. That's why identifying that you weren't wrong is critical. That what was happening to you was not right is a really, really crucial part in healing. Step two, silence your inner critic. After a toxic relationship ends, many people internalize the voice of the toxic person. Typically, it shows up as your own inner critic, saying things like, I'm such a mess, I should have seen it sooner, I can't trust myself, I'm such an idiot, why can't I do anything right? Here's the thing, that voice is not yours. It's been conditioned into you, and just like it was planted there, you can replace it. Often, when I work with people who had toxic parents, the mean things they heard about themselves as children turn into their adult inner critic. And unless they do some inner work to undo it, it can stay with them the rest of their lives. So it's critical to tune into what you're saying to yourself. If your inner voice is mean or cruel, know that that voice is not yours. It comes from the toxic person who put it there. To overcome your inner critic, try these things. Number one, catch the thought. I'm being hard on myself again. Two, label it. That's not me, that's their voice echoing in my head. Number three, replace it. Replace it with something more beneficial. I'm allowed to be kind to myself. You won't get it perfect every time, but each time you interrupt that negative voice, you weaken its power. I've been practicing this for a long time now. To be honest, I didn't even realize I had an inner voice until I read about it. When I found out, I was appalled at how disgusting I was to myself. I was just repeating a lot of the childhood things I heard about myself when I was little. They became my inner voice. Now, sometimes I can still slip into that inner critic, especially if I've got a lot of stressful things and a lot of things going on. However, I notice it pretty quickly now and change it for something kinder and more realistic because I know that voice is not me. It's replaying the things that I heard as a child. Step three, reconnect with yourself. Toxic relationships often force you to disconnect from your own wants, needs, and instincts. You may have learned to appease others, people pleasing, or to go silent and shut down just to feel safe. Now, the goal is to reconnect with you. Some ways to do that include number one, write a list of what you love or value. Even if you've got to dig deep, it can be buried in deep inside you sometimes. Often, especially in intimate relationships, some people have been so controlled that they don't even know what they like to eat, the clothes they like to wear, or what they enjoy doing. They have been so conditioned to meet the needs of the toxic person, and that can be a parent, a intimate partner, a manager even, that it can be scary to think for yourself. If you can relate to this, please know that your feelings are valid. Take some small steps. Number 2, ask yourself questions like, what do I want? How do I feel? What do I like? What would make me happy right now in this moment? What's one small thing I can do for myself right now? Number 3, reclaim hobbies or passions that were discouraged and maybe even mocked or you simply didn't have time for. Often, when we enter into a toxic relationship, it can be all consuming. We drop all our hobbies and passions to take care of the other person's needs, or because we simply don't have the capacity for anything else other than what we absolutely must do. They can make it impossible for us to maintain those things. So, cast your mind back to what you used to enjoy before the relationship began, or try something new. Again, this is the same for any type of toxic relationship, personal, work, friend, or even parental. Number 4, spend some time alone intentionally, not as an avoidance, but as a form of self reconnection. Go for walks on your own, go shopping on your own, spend some quality time in the house alone, put your favourite music on, have a kitchen disco. However, it's essential that you avoid numbing activities when you do this. Numbing is the freeze aspect of the fight, flight, freeze stress response. So, I recommend avoiding Netflix binging, social media scrolling, overeating, drinking too much. Whatever you choose should be constructive, not destructive. You've likely spent enough time being who someone else wanted you to be. Now it's time to rediscover who you are. You're still in there. Step 4, understand coercive control. Coercive control is a strategic form of abuse where the perpetrator uses threats, isolation, rules, or subtle fear to control another person. It often leaves no bruises, but deep psychological scars. Examples of coercive control include monitoring where you go or who you talk to, constantly checking in or surveilling you, dictating what you wear, what you eat, what you spend. These can also be true in workplace scenarios. Creating confusion so you're unsure what's true. That's gaslighting. Confusion is always a huge red flag for me. Now, if I'm dealing with someone and they make me feel confused, I'm immediately on my guard because confusion is a huge gaslighting staple for toxic people. Finally, in coercive control, they will use love, money, approval, or even a promise of a promotion or other rewards for your obedience. Recognizing coercive control for what it is can be deeply validating. You may want to research it more or speak to a coach or therapist who understands it. Just because the behavior you went through wasn't physical doesn't mean it wasn't real or damaging. I have 2 videos on coercive control. I'll leave the links below. Step 5, find safe support. Toxic abuse often thrives in silence and secrecy. Healing happens in reconnection. Reach out to number 1, therapists or coaches who are trauma informed. This is a big caveat here, and I've said it in previous videos. If you work with a coach or a therapist, they must be trauma informed. If they're not, they can do far more harm than good. In trauma informed coaching, we do not keep going over and over and over the abuse. We work on processing what's happened and use practical tools to move forward. Number 2, friends and family who believe and support you. Avoid the type of people who say, "Why didn't you just leave?" or "I would never let that happen to me." They are not the type of people you should be around. And I get so incredibly annoyed when I hear those really ridiculous terms that people say. Number three, support groups, whether in person or online. Meetup, I believe, is a good way of finding groups. Choose them wisely, though. Sometimes they attract toxic people, so watch out for any red flags and trust your gut instincts if you do find a group. Number four, books, podcasts, and blogs that remind you that you're not alone. With so much information available, it's easy now to educate yourself. As I say in so many of my videos, you can't change what you're not aware of. Educating yourself is critical. I also have over 80 videos on bullying, toxic workplaces, coercive control, narcissism in the workplace. So I'll leave the playlist below so that you can have a look at some of those videos. Finally, on this one, you don't have to tell the whole of your story to everyone, but you do deserve a safe space where you can begin to unpack and release what you've been carrying for so long. Step six, rebuild through small wins. Confidence isn't something you either have or don't, it's something you build moment by moment. Start with some tiny steps. Number one, speak up in a small way. Number two, wear something that expresses you and makes you feel good about yourself. If you're one of those people who saves things for best, don't stop. Use it, wear it. When we wear things that make us feel good, it really makes a difference in how we show up in the world. I have quite a thing now about not saving things for best. I don't get it. If you've got something that you like and you love wearing it and it makes you feel good, do it. Number three, set a small boundary and stick to it. Number four, make a decision without seeking permission or validation or feeling the need to over explain. That's another symptom when we come out of toxic relationships, is feeling the need to over explain. All of these things may feel scary at first, but that's okay. Growth usually does. But every time you act in alignment with your truth, you're building your confidence from the inside out. Step seven, shift the narrative. One of the most damaging effects of toxic relationships is the belief that you're broken or that it was somehow your fault. But that's not the truth. The truth is, number one, you were targeted because of your strength, kindness, or vulnerability. Number two, you did the best with the tools you had. Number three, you have learned powerful lessons and now you have the chance to rewrite the future. This is not about blaming yourself for the past. If you knew better, you'd have done better. It's about claiming your agency in the present. After all, one thing I do need to say, these toxic people rely on the fact that they don't think they'll get found out. They behave in such a way that you would never dream of behaving, and so you don't think it could ever happen to you. That's part of the con. That's part of the manipulation. When I begin working with someone who's been through a toxic relationship, especially a narcissistic one, I start with education. I find it's everything in these scenarios. You don't know what you don't know. Once you understand the patterns of behavior, how these people use certain tools to control and manipulate you, and that there's a very distinct pattern, you cannot unsee it. These toxic people are often very good and very experienced at this type of coercive behavior. You are not the first and definitely will not be the last person they've done this to. Here's the thing. Because we would never dream of treating people so badly, we can't imagine that someone would do it to us. And so we're not looking for it and often choose to ignore the red flags. However, you are not defined by what happened to you, nor are you stupid, an idiot, or any other name you may feel like calling yourself because you didn't spot it. You simply didn't know, and why would you? You're a good person. Step 8, celebrate the healing. Healing from any toxic relationship is not a straight line. Some days you'll feel free and powerful, other days you'll feel triggered, wobbly, and full of doubt. This is all part of the process. Confidence doesn't mean never doubting, it means trusting that you'll get through it anyway. So, celebrate the boundaries you've set, the people you've walked away from, the self-kindness you're practicing, the new beliefs you're forming. Healing is proof of your resilience. Confidence is reclaiming what was always yours. The wrap up. If someone broke your trust, manipulated your emotions, or tried to make you feel small, please know that you're not the problem. You are harmed and you survived. That alone is testament to your strength. Reclaiming your confidence isn't about becoming who you were before. It's about becoming someone even more grounded, more self-aware, and more powerful, because now you know what to look out for and what you deserve. You are not too sensitive. You are not overreacting. You are learning to choose yourself, and that's incredibly brave. Finally, one thing I said to a therapist many years ago that might just resonate with you and is testament to what I say about education being paramount. I asked this therapist, why do I keep attracting these abusive people? His reply, it's not that you attract them any more than the next person. It's that you allow them to stay. What next? If you have anything you'd like to add to today's video or any topics you'd like to see me cover in future, please leave them in the comment section below. I read and respond to everything. I really love interacting with you all. If you enjoyed this video, can I ask a huge favour, please? Please support this channel with a like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. It's completely free, and if you don't have a YouTube account, it takes seconds to set one up, and that's completely free too. You'll never get emails from me, YouTube, or anyone else, and it really does make a massive difference in helping me grow this channel. Finally, thank you to everybody who stays until the very end, and thank you so much for your support. It really means the absolute world to me. Thank you.